Hello everyone, welcome back. And for today's video, I'm gonna be doing my eyebrows and my wing eyeliner. Don't really know what's going on with my hair, honestly. I just got out of the shower and didn't want wet hair in the video, so throw it up and hopefully I look somewhat decent. So today's video is hopefully gonna be quick and just to show you the basics of how I do my eyebrows and my eyeliner. Contrary to what you might think, I struggle a lot with both. And I would say that your skills in problem solving are probably a lot more important than your skills in makeup in general, just because you're gonna run into issues with your eyebrows and eyeliner, and the best thing you can do is just figure out how to work with those issues, and that's what's most important, honestly. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm gonna do with my eyebrows, I'm gonna take this Revlon Colorstay pencil and take the spoolie and just push my eyebrows up. I tweezed my eyebrows yesterday, so I don't have a lot of the little hairs underneath here, but if you do and you want to tweeze them, go ahead and do that at this step, and then brush your hairs up. So the reason you're doing this is you're trying to see the shape of underneath your eyebrow right here, so you're just exposing that by brushing the hairs up. Next, you're going to take the other side, the pencil side, and this step might be a little weird. You're going to lightly take your pencil and just draw from where you see your hair starting all the way to the tail. And then if you want to, you can actually extend the tail. I like to do it just a little bit. So this looks pretty aggressive, and honestly it is. You're not really supposed to be drawing lines unless they're in the direction of hair. But when I say supposed to be, there's really different ways of doing everything, and I enjoy doing it this way because it really defines the shape rather than just filling in where your hair already is and just defining the hairs. This is kind of helping give it a more of a structure that you might not have. So once you've done this, you're just gonna go up to where you have that arch usually, and you're just gonna draw a line down to the corner. Okay? And then you're just gonna take it and draw a little hair-like lines. And that's pretty much for the tail. Now what you're gonna do, if you want more of a really defined look, then go ahead and do this. Start up here and just match to where that arch is. Just make sure you're pretty gentle. You don't want to be harsh with these lines because you want them to blend pretty easily. Okay. And I don't go too high, I just go right where the hairs stop growing. So if I push these hairs down, you can see that I do have hairs growing right where I drew that line. It wasn't too unnaturally high. So that's probably the area that you're gonna wanna draw that line. And as you can see, it's already starting to look pretty defined, pretty good. It's just a little weird with the lines. So now you're gonna wanna connect these lines, and you're gonna do that by drawing these hair-like lines. And you're not gonna draw a line straight up to the top. What you're doing is just wisping, and they're gonna naturally reach that top line. You don't wanna make these lines look unnatural in any way. So just make sure you're starting right at that baseline and just wisping up. And still be really gentle with these. You don't want them to be harsh lines either. And you just keep going until you reach the end of that line. And then what I would do at this point is see if you notice any bald spots. I see some that can be filled in a little bit, and just gently draw in some more hair-like lines. Okay, this is starting to look pretty good. It's pretty bold. As you can tell the difference. You can really tell the difference. This looks like I drew it with a Sharpie right now. This looks very weak compared to the one I just did. So the most important part out of all of this is to take that spoolie and brush through. If you got to this point and you're freaking out, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't go out with these eyebrows, just remember that this spoolie is gonna help blend everything, help make it look more natural. So the way I like to do it is go up with my spoolie, starting from that baseline to blend it into the hairs. And then once I get to the arch area, I just go down like that, because the hairs go in this direction at the tail, but they go up at the beginning of your brow. And then if you still notice that there's kind of a harsh line between where your brow is and where your skin is, I would go like this, just so that you can blend it a little bit better. And then go up with your hairs, because you want your hairs to be going in the natural direction that they grow in. Okay. And you can see that I got some of the brow color here, so just wipe that up a little bit. And you're just gonna want to spoolie until you feel like it's more of a natural look, or whatever look you're going for. If you spoolied enough, you would go back to your original brows. That's kind of the point, just weakening harsh lines. And I like to do it very lightly because I don't want to change it so much. I want to have more control over how much I'm changing. Okay, so far this looks good. This isn't the end of the brow process, so even if it looks a little weird right now, you are going to clean it up a little bit with concealer. But for right now, I think this is a good area to stop because you've added the color that you needed and you've weakened some of the harsh lines. Just a little area right there I want to weaken more. I'm just going to take it more harshly with the tip of the spoolie and then just clean up any of the excess color. Okay, so far this looks pretty decent. Now I struggle with this eyebrow because the hairs kind of grow in different directions. I actually have some curly ones here. I don't know if you could tell, but some just curl up and it's not fun. So I struggle with this one. Wow, that's gotta be a first. This eyebrow, I feel like actually looks better than this one today. That usually doesn't happen. One thing I'd like to mention too, you can see that this arch isn't very defined, it's very rounded. So if you want more of a defined arch, then get a better angle right here. Start right where the arch should be and go down and then straight to the side. And it gives you more of a defined arch, and you could go as defined as you'd like. See, that just gives it more of a, I guess like a corner shape. Yeah, I like that. I think that looks better on me. But it's whatever you think looks best on your face. Everybody has different shaped eyebrows, and some people don't look great when they change the shape of their eyebrows. Some people do. It's all up to you, and even if by population standards you don't look great, whatever that means, it's whatever you think you look like. If you think you look great, that's all that matters, right? It's your face. If you're going for more of a natural look where you're not gonna be doing like your foundation and all that, you can stop at this point if you feel like this looks good. I think it does look kind of natural, but if you do wanna go with a full face or clean up this a little bit, you're gonna be taking your concealer brush, and your concealer, I have Tarte Shape Tape, and I'm just gonna be taking a little bit of concealer. You'll be taking that concealer and just dropping it underneath your brow. It might look like a lot of concealer, but it really isn't. And you want to be careful. You don't want to get this concealer into your eyebrow hairs at all. So you're just going to drag it to connect with the dots. And then you're just going to drag it down, any excess. And then you're going to get closer to your hairs just to make it really clean. And drag any excess down. I like going all the way to the middle of this area, just so that I could really tell the difference between the concealer and my skin color. Kind of helps to tell where I did the concealer and how it made my face look. I think that cleaned it up a little bit. I really like that. Okay, now you're gonna be doing the top. I do a little bit less on the top, honestly. I feel like there's less area for mistakes there. And you just really want to be careful not to get the concealer into your eyebrow area. And I think it's harder when you do the top. Okay, so that looks a little bit stiff. It doesn't look like it naturally blends into my skin. So what I'm gonna do next is take that spoolie and just go through, and it just helps that concealer line not to be as dramatic. Looks more natural. Wonderful. I'm gonna do the other side. So right now it looks like I have a bit of a unibrow just because here's my natural skin color and here's the concealer. So I just go in and blend it in a little bit with my finger. And if you feel like it, go ahead and blend this area one more time just to make it look more natural. And there you have it. Remember, don't drag your concealer down to your eyelid because it brings excess oil into your eyelid and they're already oily enough and it'll mess up your eyeshadow if you get more oils there. Now that I throw on some eyeshadow, I'm gonna go ahead and put my liquid eyeliner. I'm gonna do a wing. This is vinyl liquid liner. And this part definitely takes some problem solving skills too. I am not a professional at this, seriously. I struggle a lot with wing liner. I struggled a lot especially because I didn't understand my eye shape and what the liner should look like for my eye shape. So what I would suggest is really trying to understand what angle you want to put your liner. So let's say this is your liner, and for me, I feel like this is a pretty good angle, which it goes straight to the corner of my tail here. So I think that's a good one. Some people, you might actually just want to barely have an angle, and others, you look better when you go up like this. So it's really important just to judge that angle based on your eye shape and just do a lot of practice with it. Some people look better when they don't fill in the liner all the way to the inner corner. I think that's what looks best on me. But because I put falsies on, I like to have the liquid liner all the way to the inner corner, so it's a little more forgiving with my falsies. So the first thing that I like to do is just to find that angle. So I'm gonna go right where my top lid meets my lower lid and just draw that line wherever I need that angle to be. It's not gonna look perfect, it's not gonna look pretty, that's just your start. So then what I do is I take it right in this corner, and it's hard to talk while doing this. I'm just gonna drag it down to how thick I want my liner to be. Okay, so I've defined the thickness that I want, and now I'm gonna start in the inner corner and drag it to meet this line. If you don't want to go all the way to the inner corner, start wherever you want to go and drag it to meet the line. Let's get some more on my little brush. By the way, this is how my brush looks. It's very thin. I'm shaky. I get so nervous doing this. Okay, so I got it to the middle. Now I'm going to switch positions. And just have everything meet. That's a really good base. And now I'm gonna fill in, there's a little bit of a hole right here. Just gonna fill that in. And now the last thing I'm gonna do is just really connect everything. So I'm gonna go back to this corner of the wing, make that a little more pointed and straight, and then drag all the way to the inner corner just to combine everything. Now I kind of did the opposite of what I was intending to do. I made this less pointed, less straight, but the nice thing is I don't have foundation or anything on my skin right now, so I could just go ahead with my concealer brush and just straighten it out. Pretty much removing any excess that I don't want. Okay. That looks good. I'm still gonna go back in with a little more and just straighten it out. It just doesn't look like a good wing right now. Okay, So I'm gonna go a little bit further up and just press this on so I have the shape of the brush. Okay, that looks a little better. Seriously, with this, it's very much problem solving. And also another thing is I wear glasses, so I struggle really hard to see, and I have really bad depth perception when I'm not wearing my glasses. Just ask my sister when we were playing tennis. Very bad depth perception. It's actually worse when I do this eye, because when I close this one, this eye sucks, so I could barely see anything. So I tend to do my liner with this eye open, which makes it look different from how I do this liner. So I'm gonna try it with this eye closed, yeah. Oh, it's a struggle. It's gonna look different, and I'm just gonna have to deal with that and fix this one based on how this one looks. So some would say I should start with this one and then just go with it, but I don't know why, it's just habit to start with this one. Already looks different. See, I already went thicker. Goodness, Sarah. Okay, it doesn't look too bad, but this side is thicker. And I have a little dot that I need to correct. There we go. Yeah, I just made it incredibly thick. Look at the difference. So I need to go in and fix this one. Okay, that looks a little better. The wings are pretty similar. I'm just gonna go in and fix this one a little bit. Okay, there we go. See, I think they look pretty good. Now also another thing, depending on your eye shape, you might want to go in and just straighten this out a little bit. See how it goes down and then a little bit more of a curve? Some people actually like it where it just goes straight all the way. I just don't want to mess with it anymore, so that's why I'm not going to go in and do that. Yeah, if you can do your liquid liner without, like if you could just go in, swoop, and be done with it, please start making videos on how to do that, because wow, that would be amazing. For me, I've been doing liquid liner for a long time, and it's always a battle, just always. It's never good on the first try. This is the final look. I really hope you guys like it. I really like how my eyebrows and my eyeliner came out today. I hope you learned a lot, and please stay tuned for my future videos, especially the ones in October. Anyway, see you guys next time. Bye.